Fafnir's island, whose arrow is this? Calder asked angrily. For the first time, that night, real fear struck their eyes next to the reflected full moon. I really don't know. Eirik admitted. Sorry buddy, it's so dark, except for the moon and all. Calder laughed as he pulled the arrow from his thigh. Just don't let it happen again, I will get Graham, Geir said as he carefully started to walk toward the large rock. Not so fast, Sigurd warned. First let us make sure there aren't any more surprises behind it or. What? It seems too eas. What? I mean we should be careful, Sigurd said as he eyed the rock suspiciously. Are you having those feelings again? Eirik asked teasingly. Sigurd stood in awe, he was seeing the very spot of his father's demise. Where, because his sword was cursed, it ended up getting broken. Then he was carried away by Fafnir to his lair in that volcanic island. The very same dragon he stood listening to as he snored on in the early morning hours. They were trying to be as quiet as possible. He remembered a conversation long ago with his dad just before he had come to this deadly island before him. After fishing as a child with local kids at the creek that summer, he came home crying, Sigurd, look at me in the face. His father had told him. Why did your friends make fun of you? He hated whenever his dad told him that. He knew he was unable to lie to him, but at the time, he did not want him to know. He now realized what a valuable virtue his father had instilled in him at an early age. He always found it difficult to lie and saw how it had benefited him throughout his life. After I caught that trout, I decided to throw it back. Sigurd had told his father. Did they tease you then? Yes, I told them the fish told me to do it. If you did not feel right about it then that is okay, just don't tell people such stories. His father had said. I could hear him in my head. You just don't believe me, you guys don't believe me, you guys can make fun of me all you want. But since I had that dream, I see things before they happen. Did your spirit guide tell you? Geir giggled. We should not be so skeptical, Calder said in Sigurd's defense. Sometimes now you. Eirik replied. We'll never get off this island sane. If it makes you happy, I'll send something over, as he drew an arrow and hit the large rock next to where the broken sword lay waiting. Suddenly it became larger and formed into a giant grizzly bear. One with an arrow in his thigh. And very angry. He stood up, he must have stood 20 feet. Then went back down on all fours and started charging. Quickly, Sigurd made it like he was Calder and began charging him. Getting closer, the bear stood back up, as Sigurd springboarded off a smaller rock, popping him in the air. With his sword overhead, he came down on top of the bear's head with all the strength and momentum he could divine. Cutting the beast in two, as it reverted back to two rocks half the size of the original. I knew that would happen, Sigurd said landing in between. That beast is still asleep. Calder said motioning for quiet. Sigurd went to where Graham was and saw it coiled by a small black snake. He brushed it aside and picked up both pieces of the legend. As he did this he felt an energy coming from it he did not understand. He joined the group as they headed toward the boat. Mission accomplished, Geir said relieved as they neared the boat. We should not let our guard down until we get off the island. Sigurd warned again. That snake is still in the waters of the inlet. He could be waiting for us. He's just a little one, Geir said nervously. He was moments ago just like moments ago those rocks were one bear, Sigurd replied. He was right last time guys, we should trust him. Calder said defending him again, if so he'd be waiting for us. I'll bet we could lure him into the shallow part where we could use that dead tree to trap him. You think you can move that stump? Eirik asked. I think if one of us can lure him close while me and two others tip it over, Calder replied being larger than the other three. I'm with you, Geir admitted. But I don't want to be the bait to some large snake. I will, Sigurd replied as he cautiously strolled towards the shore. The moonlight danced on the ripples of the water as he looked. There he is, Sigurd said. Where'd he go? His eyes are glowing, but he keeps shutting them. He is much bigger now, get ready guys, I am going in the water right next to you. Watch for him. As soon as he did this, the snake's eyes opened as he wrapped his body around his foot, tripping him up in the water. He quickly crab walked to the shore. Now guys, as they struggled to topple the standing stump, Sigurd quickly stood up to help. There he is. Calder said, rushed, his eyes are coming right for me. Gear said in a high-pitched voice, 1. The eyes got closer. 2.
Fafnir Island, VWTOS Aro ISDIS. Calder Asket Angrily, for the first time, thạc này, real fear struck the ice net to the replet full moon, I really don't know. Eric admit. Sorry buddy, it's so dark, except for the moon and on, Calder Lauget AS he pulled the arrow from his thigh. Just don't let it happen again, I will get ram, gây sát AS he cafel started to what the last rock, not so faster, Siger una. Phất let US mất su thia arenter ani more supri behin it or. What, it seem to is, what, I mean we shall be cafel, Siger sát AS he I the rock superficially, are you having those feeling again? Eric asked teasingly, Siger stuck in a, he was saying the very spot of his father's demise. We, because his sword was cut, it ended up getting broken. Then he was carried away by Fafi to his lair in that volcanic island. The very same dragon he should listen to as he snuck on in the early morning house. They we trying to be as quick as possible. He ran back a conversation long ago with his yacht just before he had come to this deadly island before him. After fishing as a chill with local kids at the creek that summer, he came home crying, Siger, look at me in the face. His father had told him. Why did your friend make fun of you, he heard whenever his dad told him that. He knew he was unable to lie to him, but at the time, he did not want him to know. He now realized what a valuable vital his father had instilled in him at an early age. He always found it difficult to lie and saw how it had benefited him throughout his life. After he got that truth, he decided to throw it back. Siger had told his father, did they teach you then? Yes, I told them the fit told me to do it. If you did not feel right about it then that is okay, just don't tell people such story. His father had said, I could hear him in my head. You just don't believe me, you wish don't believe me, you wish can make fun of me on you one. But since I had had the dream, I see things before they happen, did your spirit will tell you. Gây giết we shall not be so skeptical, Calder sat in Sigur's defense. So me team I, now you. Eric replied. We'll never get off this island soon. If it made you happy, I'll send so many things over, as he drew an arrow and hit the last rock net to with a broken sword like whiting. Suddenly it became larger and formed into a young grizzly bear. One with an arrow in his thigh. And very angry. He stood up, he must have stood 20 feet. Then when back down on for and started charging, quickly, Siger made it like he was Calder and began charging him. Getting close, the bear stood back up, as Siger springboarded off a smaller rock, topping him in the air. With his sword overhead, he came down on top of the bear's head with all the strength and momentum he could divine. Cutting the beast into, as it reverted back to rock hang the size of the original. I knew that what happened, Siger sat landing in Buen, that beast is still asleep. Calder sat motion for quick. Siger went to Wigram Woods and saw it collect be a small black snake. He broke it aside and picked up both pieces of the legend. As he did this he felt an energy coming from it he did not understand. He joined the group as they head toward the boat. Mission accomplished, gây sát relief as they near the boat, we shall not let our guard down until we get off the island. Siger warned again. That snake is still in the water of the inlet. He could be waiting for us, he suggests a little one, gây sát never seen, He was moment ago just like moment ago to stroke we one bear, Siger Riplit, he was right last time we shall trust him. Calder sat defending him again, if so he the bear waiting for us. Ill bet we cao lưu him into the shallow park we cao user thạc deck tree to trap him, you thin you can move thác sum. Eric Asket. Ethin if one of us can lưu him clo why me and two other tip it over, Calder Riplit bành lát giờ thang the other three, with you, gay admit. Book I don't want to be the by to some lát snake, I will, Siger Riplit as he cautiously strung tàu what the so. The moonlight dancer on the ripper of the water as he look. Thi he is, Siger sát. We giờ he go. His eyes are glowing, book he keep shooting them. He is move by girl now, get ready with, I am going in the water right next to you. What for him, as soon as he did this the snatcher eyes open as he wrapped his body around his foot tripping him up in the water. He quickly grab one cờ to the so. Now with, as they struggle to topple the standing sum, Siger quickly stood up to help. Thi he is. Calder sat ruset, his eyes are coming right for me. Gay sat in a high-pitched voice, one. The eyes got close. Two.